Hey everybody, this is Awais back with another video on the channel. Today we are going to learn IONIC 4 by creating this amazing application called Expense Logger. It's a full-fledged practical IONIC project-based tutorial. Say you want to build a mobile application and you don't know where to start. This project-based tutorial will teach you everything that you need to know about building a project from scratch. So we're going to start by prototyping our application in Adobe XD. So let me just bring up another slide. So the application would be open source, will be available on my GitHub. So anybody wants to contribute and improve the application, you're welcome to do that. So here's an idea. We got an idea. We are going to plan that idea, prototype / design, and then we are going to develop that application. And I will also show you how you can deploy that application to the Google Play Store. So the tools we're going to be using are Adobe XD, IONIC framework with Cordova, and Pycharm as an IDE. If you don't have a Pycharm, that's fine. You can use a VS Code or whatever IDE that you're comfortable with. Okay, so this is a full-fledged project-based tutorial. I'm gonna put a lot of time to it, and it's gonna be a tutorial for people who really don't know where to start. How do you grab that idea, put it on a paper, or build a prototype and plan it, and then start coding? If you have an idea and you just start coding, that doesn't work. You are not likely to complete your project. So you need to make sure that you know what you are building. For that, we are going to prototype our application using Adobe XD. Once our prototype is ready, then we are going to create a new project and then start building this cool application. Now, another thing, if you like this video, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you would like to help this channel by donating, there's a PayPal link in the description below. Please donate. It will help me to continue putting out this kind of content for you guys. Okay, so let's get started by prototyping application using Adobe XD. So when you have an idea, the first thing you should be doing is writing down some minimum required functionality that you think you are going to provide to your users. For the expense logger, as the name suggests, I would like to allow users to add their daily expenses. We want to provide user a functionality. They should be able to filter out some expenses by amount, by category. We want user to be able to delete expenses. We got 3 basic functionalities. We need to give user ability to add expenses, filtering, and delete expenses. So we got a minimum required functionality written down in a notes application. So next tool, what I would like to show you is called Trello. A Trello is a great free tool that you can use to, write down your task. You can write down your specs, and you can write down, smaller tasks that you want to do. So it will help you to track your projects. I'm just going to create a new board. I'll name it Expense Logger, and that would be a private board. Now, once that's created, I'm going to change the background to a simple color. I like this one. Okay. Empty expense logger board in Trello. I'm going to use a Kanban. So we create 3 lists: planning, ready for development, in progress, and develop. So it's like a basic Kanban board. If I'm going to start thinking to add any functionality, I will write down that in planning list. Then once that's ready for development, we'll move that into ready for development. Then when we start working on it, we will move that into progress. Once we finish with that task, we'll move that to develop. Usually in a software house, you will see another one where you say in production or pull request, but we should be fine. Now, this is where you are learning how you can start writing down specs, managing your project, creating tasks, and tracking them. So it's like a full process of developing a mobile application. Also, we have one task in planning list which says create prototype for expense logger. Click on that task, and here I can write the descriptions. So I'll be using So we're going to be using Adobe XD for prototyping. It's a free tool from Adobe. We are going to create homepage. Now these are some of the pages that we'll list down. We might not need those, but this is the whole process. So whatever you can think of, just list it down. So right now we have a login and sign up, but I'm not planning to actually show you how you can use authentication system. That will come in the next video or some other time. I will show you how to do it. So I'm going to save this. So here we got a task that we can come back and have a look. Start with creating a prototype for our pages. So I'm going to use a software called Adobe XD. Use Adobe XD to create a prototype quickly. And if you want to learn Adobe XD, then I would highly recommend go to my channel and search for Adobe XD tutorial for prototype, web and mobile apps. I've done a pretty much complete tutorial for Adobe XD. You can have a look at this video if you want to learn that. So I'm not going to go and teach you Adobe XD in this video, but you know, we're going to be using this. So I'm just going to quickly create some pages. So here we got one page. I'm going to copy, paste. So we got 4 pages here. Organize these pages in something like this. So we got sign up page. We got a dashboard page here. And here we're going to do some other pages that might be required. So here I'm going to change this to login page. And this would be sign up page. And that's your dashboard. Let me make another copy. And here we are just going to use this one for our menus. So to a menu page list. Okay. And now we're gonna go put it in the middle. So a person can log in, sign up, it will go to the dashboard page, and then here we have some other pages like add expense. Okay. Let me just put it here. And that page can be, let me go back and look at our task. So we need a setting page, add expense page done, login, this one done. Okay, that's all good. So this one would be setting page. Okay, so as you can see, we got like 4 pages. Now let me quickly go and design this one. Click on this button and that will show me my assets available in Adobe XD. Use this input field for username, copy paste that one, and then also I need a button. So let's just bring the button in, copy paste this button. And let's just make a size a little bit smaller, and we're gonna put this button right here. Just make it like this. Okay, also I would like to make this input size a bit bigger as well. It's good. Take this button here, and maybe I can just leave it this here as well. Right, that looks good. And then I'll need a text here, and I will just say I forgot password. Okay, and let's just put it, maybe we can, let me click on this. I think this should be good enough. And for that, I would like to change the color first of all, and the color should be bluish. Just double click on that, select it, click on this fill, and I would like to have something like this color maybe. I don't know, we can work on colors later, but let's just leave it like that. Okay, and we got this human icon here. Let's just put it somewhere here. That should be all right. Also, I'm just gonna select everything and try to move this a little bit down so it could be in the middle. Oop, everything was in the middle. So I'd like to try something out here. Nope, not this one. Okay, I'll probably have to manually bring it down. It's been a while since I used Adobe XD. Also, let's just decrease the size of these two. Let's just say 12 should be fine. I'm gonna have to double click on it and select this and then do a size here. Nope, doesn't work. So that's the text, actually, not that one. So here we got this forgot password. Okay, I'm gonna zoom out and let's just quickly create a page. I would like to, create a page there for a forgot password. So let me copy this and bring it like here. Okay, let's select this. I'm going to get rid of that page as well. So this is going to be forgot password page. And in this, I need an email and a password. And that will basically send a code for them. And then this will change and ask for the code and let them do their password again. That's cool. So let's just bring up this input field almost here. And I like to have a button. Okay. And that's it. And there's going to be another form after the email is successfully sent. Then there's going to be another form here, which basically asks them to put the code in. We'll worry about that later. Okay, so let me just zoom into our login page a bit. And here I would like to change this to, let's just say, email. And that's your password. Change the text here. I'll say login. And that would say sign up. All right, that's all good. I'm going to store this document so I don't, miss it. So I'll just do expense logger. I'll save that in a document. Okay, and now we need a sign up page. So I'm just gonna copy pretty much everything from here, and I'm gonna paste that here as well. That will be email, a password. So I'm just going to bring these three elements down. That should be it. Let's just bring this one right above here somewhere. And then we need some fields. All right, that looks all right. So I'm gonna change this text to say name. Name this one, and that would be, for example, I don't know, maybe you can say, let's just leave that email, and then we're gonna have to ask them to do password, and this one is going to be confirm password. Okay, and this time this login button is going to say sign up because it's bigger, and this one is going to say login. Okay, and that should be it. We got this form done. Let me just move it a little bit up. Let's add a text to dashboard page so we know that we are in dashboard page once we get there. Let me go to the design section, and I will just click on this text and say this is the dashboard page. Now let's add a linking for this page. So I'm going to go to prototype section, and first of all, what we need to do is linking for our login page. So if I click on a login, it should take me to the dashboard page. If I click on a sign up, it should take me to the sign up page, and forget password should take me to the forget password page. Now let's finish up with the sign up page. If I click on a login, it should take me back to the login. And if the sign up is successful, we should go to the sign up page. Forget password should take me to, forget password page. And here, let's just change this text. Okay, let's save the file. And now let's visualize what we have done so far. So I'm going to click on this prototype. And then here you see the home button, which means that this is the main page that's going to open. Click on this play button. I can click on the sign up page. It will take me to the sign up page. Click on the forget password. It takes me to the forget password. Reset should take us to the login page. If I click on the login, it should take me to the dashboard page. So you can see that we have actually prototyped our main entry points for our expense logger application. Now we're going to talk about a dashboard page. Now let's just zoom in a bit. And this is going to be the most complicated page that we will need to worry about. So first of all, let's design the top menu. To use this rectangle tool and just draw something like this. Okay, and then I'm going to use one of the button, which is going to be a hamburger button. Couldn't find that hamburger button here, so I'm just going to create my own. For the button there, I've created that as a component as well in Adobe XD, which is looking good now. And let me just finish the prototype for that. All right, so in the dashboard page, I'm gonna have to think about it a lot. But initially, what we basically need is something to show the daily expenses, that whatever I've done today. Use this rectangle, and I would like to just add this kind of a box here, and then we can add a text saying today's total, and I can show, like, you know, just a random value here. Okay, and we can align this together, I guess, by using this tool, and that would be your total for today. And also we might be adding some date and stuff here as well. Last one, because I'm gonna create tabs UI for this application, so I'm just gonna copy this bit and then I'm going to paste that right at the bottom. I need to increase the size of that, and then we are going to write some text here. Feature, I'm going to expand the functionality of this application to another level. For that, I'm going to be using tabs, but for now, just for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to write some text here. For example, I can say dashboard, and I'm just going to copy this dashboard and paste it into that section. Copy paste. Okay, the last one can be account, maybe settings, I don't know. I mean, at this stage we don't know what it's gonna take, so I'm gonna use activity, and then this can be, let's just say, transaction, and that can be a dashboard. Okay, we're gonna have another button, let's just say a circular button here, for example, and I'm just going to write a text here, for example, just a plus. This plus will basically be used to add expenses to our application. So that kind of UI that's gonna stick to every page of our application. Here we will have some buttons to filter our content. We can talk later about it. Another thing that I would like to add here would be a today's date. So let's just add that right now. So today date, I'm going to change the text, and that can be done from here. So let me just select this, and that would be just 8. Okay, that's gonna come up here, and right on the top we can have a title of the page, so that would be, you know, dashboard. Okay, stage we have a basic prototype of a dashboard page. We don't know the actual page, how it's gonna look like, but we have something that we can follow along when we start coding. Now, when you start your project, you basically start with the minimum of viable product. You cannot have like 100% functionality of next 5 years that you are expecting to be there. So we start very basic. Now we are going to, you know, add stuff to settings page as well. So for that, I'm going to copy this bit and I'm going to paste that here. And then I will use one of these button to align that. So let's just put it all the way down. Okay, I don't need this button here. That would just be on the dashboard or transaction page. In the settings page, we need these two things. And there would be basically coming here, another dashboard. Let's put it on a corner. And that's our settings for now. Let me just rename the text. And what we need in this page, we don't know yet. So just leave that for now. let's go to add expense page. This is one of the model that we're going to be seeing. So for that, I will copy this bit and paste it there, and we can simply add expense title for this page. We're going to need a couple of forms here. So I'm going to copy forms from, let's just say, a login page. So let's just copy this to paste them here, and let's just move them right here. Okay, so here we can have, let's just say, amount for the right, and then we can select a category. So here we should have something select here. Also we need expense type, so I'm going to paste that bit here, and that would be a select box. So and then also we have a description, and that's gonna be a little bit long, so we can say description. And then on the keyboard we might have some options like add image, or add date for that. So by default it's gonna be today's date, but we can have like a date and time picker, which we will have to select what date this expense was. Maybe you want to add expense to the previous date. So I'm going to paste another field here, and I will just name it select date. Okay, and default is today's date. Then we have a button. I'm just gonna copy a button from my asset. There we go. And we can say add expense. Okay, so that's our basic prototype for add expense page. What else we have? We got the settings covered, we got dashboard covered, and we got some menu buttons. So menu is basically, we'll have a rectangle there. So let me just zoom in a bit, and let's create a menu here. Okay, and here we can add some boxes like this, copy and paste, and then we have a menu, copy paste, copy paste. Okay, so here we can start writing text, whatever the menu will require, and that will target that. Okay, so I'm going to click on prototype and then click on this button, and that should take me to this page. Okay, yep, just one thing that I just noticed, if you want to cancel things out, then we can have a cross button here. So I'm just going to draw a circle, and I'm going to put it here, and that circle will take a text like X, which means we don't want to add this expense, we just want to cancel it out. Let me just make it a little bit bigger so it's aligned properly. Okay, maybe a little bit bigger for here as well. All right, that looks all right to me for now. And we're gonna go to prototype. I'm gonna select this, and that should take me back to a dashboard page. Okay, and if add expense is successful, we should go back to a dashboard page as well, or any activity. Here we are going to copy, let me just select this, zoom in, and copy this, and I'm gonna paste that here, and that will have same connection to the dashboard page. Okay, that's looking good now, and I'm going to give it a try in a preview. So here we got the login page. For example, we log in, we added expense, it goes here, we add stuff here, click on cross, and that's it. Okay, so by looking at this prototype, we kind of have a basic understanding of how our initial application is going to look like. So we know it's going to have a forget password, login page, setting page, dashboard, settings, and add expense page. So we know a little bit about application. Obviously, it doesn't take 25 minutes to create a prototype of an application which might have a lot more functionality. Project is open source and source code will be available on my GitHub. So I would highly recommend you go to the description of this video, click on the link for the repository, and try to get involved in this project. My goal is to keep working on this project and build a full-fledged free application which everybody can use and, you know, track their expenses monthly, daily. So we're going to be creating this as an open source project. We realize that we need to add more functionality to these applications. We will come to this prototype file of Adobe XD. We add a prototype first. We analyze if this is, you know, achievable or is this a good feature. We add that here and then we start coding. Okay, so at this stage, this is a minimum prototype. We will have a lot more functionalities down the road for this application. Before we go and set up IONIC for project, I would highly encourage anybody who thinks that this video has benefited them, please consider donating. It's gonna help me to keep creating this kind of content on this channel, and I've got a lot more IONIC tutorials or overall programming tutorials on my channel. So if you guys can help me out, that would be great. And now it's time for us to set up our initial project. So if you're on a Mac, open up a terminal. If you're on a Windows, open command prompt. Now we're gonna have to install a few things. First of all, let me take you to the IONIC documentation. We go to docs and we are going to install this IONIC CLI. Okay, now in my case, I have already installed, so I will check the version of IONIC, which is 4.4.15. That's all good, and then I can use this command to start a new project. So it says IONIC start my app tabs. So my app is the name of the project. Tabs is like a template that it's basically it's a pre-built code that we can utilize. So here we have like a blank tabs and side menu. Now in terms of our prototype, we have our tab kind of UI. So it's better to start with something that we already have configured for us. Then it says run your application with the cd my app and then IONIC serve. Let's go to terminal, and I'm gonna go to my development folder, and here I would like to create a new project. So I'll say IONIC start, and I'll just say expense logger and use tabs. Now two things it's gonna ask you, a framework that you're gonna be using to program your application. So we have two choices in IONIC CLI, Angular versus React. So if you're a React developer, then you can choose React. If you're an Angular developer, then you can choose Angular. My preference is Angular, and Angular is what IONIC is initially were built on. So I'm going to choose Angular, and now it's going to install some dependency for us and get our project set up. In terms of your IDE, so I've got this Visual Studio Code that you can download and then follow along. Well, this has a support of TypeScript. TypeScript is a programming language. That is what we're going to use for this project. Also, this website will be very helpful. So there are some prerequisites for you to know before you can follow along this project. First thing, you need to know basic level of Angular. The project should be created now, and I would like to look at a few things. So I'm going to use cd expense logger. Now we're going to use cat command, and I'm going to read package.json file. Here we can see the Angular version. So right now IONIC is using Angular version 8.1.2. which is okay. We don't need to upgrade our Angular version to 9. Now, I've done a video how you can upgrade your IONIC application, which is running on an old Angular version or old IONIC. There'll probably be a card that I'll paste it right somewhere here. Have a look at that if you really want to upgrade your application or you already have one. Okay, in this case, I'm going to use command IONIC serve, which is the command to run the application in the browser. We will be initially using Chrome browser to test our application while we build, and down the road when we add some native functionality like handling camera and stuff, then we will jump to using emulators or basically real devices, iPhone and Android. Okay, now here is the full view of our tabs template. I'm gonna press F12. It's gonna open up a developer tools, and here I can see the Pixel 2 kind of UI. So I've got two tabs here. So we've got tab 1, tab 2, and tab 3. As you can see, there's a lot of things already set up for us, but we still need to, configure these tabs according to our requirement. Okay, so at this stage, we got our project running. What's the next step? I'm going to stop the server, and the next step is to open our project in IDE. So you can use a Visual Studio Code. So I have a Visual Studio Code installed on the Mac. So JetBrains. So here we got a JetBrains. If you just want to do a front-end development, then you can choose a WebStorm, which is their cheapest IDE that you can use for WebStorm or overall JavaScript and TypeScript. I am a backend developer as well, mainly Python. So I use Pycharm, which has support for Pycharm. So if you have a WebStorm, then you should be good to go, or get a Pycharm. So they're not sponsoring this video. It's just me liking these IDEs so much that I want to share with you that they're great. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to open Pycharm. I've got a professional version. So there is a free version and a professional version. So the difference between free and professional is that professional will support JavaScript frameworks, and free one will support only Python. Okay, so I've got this. I'm just gonna move that to the desktop tree. I'm going to open a new project. Let's go to dev, and I've got this project here, and I'm gonna open it up. Once our project is open, then we gonna need one more thing. I would like to actually open our terminal, which is built into Pycharm. I'm gonna use IONIC serve command, and just to verify that we got our server running from Pycharm and everything's all good and set up. So here we got the project, which we're gonna start configuring. Initially add some pages. So yeah. Now we're going to open up a Trello and create a task for us, and then come back and finish that task. First, let's see if our application is running through terminal of Pycharm. Okay, so it says your application is running on localhost /8100. So we're going to open up a browser. Let's just do a refresh, and our server is running. So let's open up a Trello, and here is our board. So we got our task prototype for expense logger. We created homepage, login, sign up, add expense. So that's all good. I'm going to put that into in progress, which means we probably come and modify this thing again and again. Now we're going to start by creating some of the tasks. So we have created a project. I should have created this task. So created a project. That's all good. That's developed. Or we can say, I'm going to change that to production. Okay, so project is done. I'm going to go back to planning, and here we can say create a login page task. Then we have create a sign up page, create forgot password page, and then we will have some add routing to modules. Okay, then we can say add required configuration. Okay, and then we are going to write a kind of story now, and then we can say user should be able to sign up to the application. User should be able to log in to the application. Okay, and also we can say user should be able to navigate to the pages using tabs. Okay, so I created a couple more tasks here. Recording was messed up, so that's why I couldn't show you, but it's just like 2 tasks here. So I've got one task, says fixed a routing for tabs project, and also we have a create empty pages for all the required tasks. So I moved that fixed routing for tabs project into in progress, which I'm going to be working on. So let's take you to my IDE and setup. So here I've got the app running on the right side, and on the left side I've got an IDE with the code. This is my usual setup when I'm working with the IONIC project. So 1/4 of my app, and then 3/4 of my IDE that I'm gonna be, using. Now I hope you guys can see the code. The font is big enough, and also the UI for IDEs should be fine. This video is in 4K, so feel free to increase the resolution in YouTube setting. Okay, so inside the project, we can see it's mainly an Angular project with the source folder, app folder, assets, environment. Now this video is not teaching you Angular. I'm expecting you to know all this already. What is the structure of Angular project, and also some basic Angular knowledge should be there, like routing and stuff. So here, if I open up this app folder, I've got this app module and app routing module, which is targeting to this tabs page module, which is this one. And then we have 3 tabs here. So for the tabs, I would like to do some modification. The tabs module, and here we have a tab routing module as well. So here you can see we got the routing for these 3 tabs. Start the server by typing IONIC serve on terminal. And then I would like to remove some of the code here, because we don't want tab 1, tab 2, and tab 3. The 2 options here. Once we can actually rename these, or we can create our own. And I would prefer creating my own components or modules that would just be cleaner, so I know what I wrote. First of all, let's go and add a 4th tab here. So I'm going to open tabs.html file, and here is the code for that. I'm going to copy this tab 3 and paste it here. Let's save the file, and once you save the file, you will see the 4th tab appearing. Okay, we got 4 tabs. Now let's change the text for these. So the first one is supposed to be dashboard. Second one supposed to be, I thought that would be activity. I'm gonna have to look at our prototype. So here is an activity and settings and transaction. So let's just leave that activity, and then I'm gonna change that to sharing, and then settings, or maybe I could just use accounts. Okay, we're not following our prototype, but that was just see what's going on. So here I'm gonna change this to budget. Okay, let's save the file, and we can see the text is changed on our tabs, and you can also change the icon. So let me take you to the browser. Here's a website for icons. So go to icons.com, and here you can see all the icons available that can be used in your IONIC project without importing any third-party library. So here we have something like a dashboard activity. So I'm going to use a dash, nothing here, maybe menu, maybe this one for now, and it says menu outline. So I'm just gonna copy this bit. Let's go back, and here's the icon for that. So I'll just use menu outline. Let's save this and see if the icons changed. Okay, we're not seeing any icons. It says localhost 800404 not found. So this icon basically is not there. For some reason, we're gonna have to, stop the server, restart again, and that should be there. But for now, let's just undo. We're not gonna worry about any icons for now. Okay, now it's time for us to create a routing. But first, we are going to create some folder structure for our application. And I'm going to use a folder structure which I used in my other project, which basically is like 5 folders that I will be creating. So let's just do a directory. First of all, the folder about pages. I'm going to create another folder for services and another folder, not the Python module, but another folder for, let's just say, model. Create another folder for utils and another folder for what I'm missing. Okay, pages, model, services, a util folder, and also we need interfaces. Okay, and for now I think that's all what we need. We got, okay, yeah, another folder, guys, for all your constants. Okay, so we created our folder structure now, and it's time for us to create some components. So I'm gonna stop the server on a terminal. Okay, I'm gonna use IONIC G command, and I'm going to generate a module. Okay, so there's 2 ways. You could use the lazy loaded module or just straight up component. It's up to you what you want to do. So I would prefer to create a module which will help us to, lazy load stuff. So module, and I would like to go to pages / and that would be a dashboard module. Okay, and I'm gonna use this dashboard -- routing, enter, and we should be able to see another folder getting generated there in the pages. Okay, let me just stop it and restart again. Okay, nothing's there for now. Project files, you go to source, app, pages, nothing in there. So here we see we created app / pages. Yep, that's correct. And then dash, and then dash, and then dash _ routing as well. For some reason, it took a bit of time to actually show up. So we got this dashboard module. I was supposed to have that outside, so I'm just going to move that outside and delete this dashboard as well. So we got a dashboard module. Now it's time for us to create a component. So I'm going to just remove this routing and remove this bit. And then instead of module, I'm going to create component. All right, there you go. We got the module and then we got the component as well. So in terms of routing, what I would like to do here, I would just create, for example, a routing object within this module. So here we got the routing, which has this route. We don't really need to do that because we can just create that inside this dashboard module. So I'm just going to get rid of that file, delete anyway. I'm going to get rid of this dashboard module. That's all good. And then we have this routing module dot for children. And then here we can add a routes right here. So we got a path, and the path would be, for example, just clean. And then we have a component, which would be dashboard component. Okay. And here we got an error. Basically, it's not an error. It's saying just you should be able to use single quotes. So I'm just going to change that to single quote. I'm going to open up the context. Save it. Okay, so now we got the dashboard. Now instead of targeting this, tab 1, I'm gonna go to tabs, routing module, and here I would like to say dashboard, And for the children, I am going to import. First of all, here's the path. So I'm gonna go to pages. Okay, that's not gonna go there. So we're gonna // pages / dashboard dot module. Okay. And then here I'll say m dot dashboard module. And let's see what happens. So here we got the problem here. It says cannot find the path. It should be able to find the path. Dashboard / dashboard. So dashboard / dashboard dot module. So this is the file. Too many dashboard modules. So you can see when you're developing what sort of problems that you go through. I'm going to save the file, and here we have a dashboard module generated. Now I'm going to go to terminal, and I'm going to create another module, and I don't want the routing for that. Okay, and I'm going to use this as settings. Okay, now we're going to need a component for that as well. So that would be a component settings. Oh, no, that's like pages settings. We got a settings here, but I actually created another setting component somewhere. Okay, but I stopped it. Hopefully it didn't finish. So that would be settings component. That should come up here. Let's just generate another module. And we're gonna name this account, or maybe what is the prototype says. Here's our application. We need a budget module. Budget module. We also need a component for budget. Okay, so we've got 3 things here, and that should be fine for now. And like we fixed this tab 2 and tab 3 are pending. So I'm going to remove this path. / pages / and that would take us to settings / setting module. And then here we're going to talk about importing settings module. That's all good now. And then here we're going to do /pages / budget / budget module. And now we're going to use a budget module to import. Okay. And I'm going to copy this bit and paste it here. We need an activity module as well. So for that, let's go back to terminal. Let's generate this activity module. And then go create an activity component as well. And then in the budget module, we're gonna change this to activity / activity module, and that would be activity module import here. So this is like how you do lazy loading for your Angular routing. Okay, so we got a dashboard here, and I'm gonna change this to settings, and this tab will take us to budget. And the 4th one, we can say it's going to be an activity because it is an activity. Now the path redirect, we can say go to dashboard, mate. And then for the main path, we can say tabs.dashboard as well. Okay, so at this stage, we have configured the pages, whatever the basic pages that we need. And then also we are going to create another module, which is going to be a authentication module. So I'm going to create a module, not in pages, but outside. So we can say auth / login, and then I'm going to create just a module there. So that would be auth module, auth folder actually, which will have this login module. Okay, we got this auth here, and I've got this login module. Okay, now I'm gonna create sign up module, and then forgot password module there. All right, so we got 3 modules. We'll worry about these later, but for now, that's about it. Okay, so if I go to app routing module, it's directly taking us to tabs module, which is okay for now. So I'm going to run the application and see if it's still working. And I'm expecting not to see this tab 1. Instead, I'm expecting to see just an empty page without anything in it, because it should be taking us to this what do you call dashboard page. Okay, and it says dashboard work. And let me close this tab and then refresh this bit and see if there's an error. So it says cannot match any route URL tab/tab. There's something wrong here for our tabs routing module. I think I haven't saved this yet. So if there is any tab, let's search for it. So it says tab/1. Okay, there's nothing says tab/1 here. So that should not be a problem. Okay, what is the error? Let's just zoom in a bit. So it says uncaught error. ng module or module has not been imported into your module. Okay, that's correct. So what are we supposed to do? We go to tabs module, and here we're gonna have to import those module. So we got a form module, tabs routing module. I'm going to import dashboard module. Okay, we need the settings module. We also need activity module, and also we need budget module. Going to be a few more errors. So before we start the application, I would like to fix all of them. So here we got an error saying TypeScript, needs a single code. So for that, I'm gonna go to Pycharm setting, just quickly fix that, and I'll just type single. Use a TypeScript. And here we should be able to change this to single code. So it will automatically import with the single quotes. Let's apply and OK. Now we're going to go to every single module here, and we are going to fix the importing part of it. So let's go to the dashboard module, and I'm going to import that into declaration. And that should be it. And dashboard has this routing done as well. We're going to go to settings module. And here we're gonna add this settings component, and also we're gonna add a routing module dot for children. We're gonna add a route, which is going to take a path. Let's just do an empty path, and a component is going to be settings component. We need a comma here. Let me stop the server for now. We don't need the server running. Now we're gonna go to budget. Similarly, we're gonna add this budget component, and then for the routing, we use a routing module dot for children, and add a path. Then it's gonna be an empty path, and then component is going to take budget component. Let's not forget the comma here, and then it's just taking a breakpoint. I don't know why. I'm just gonna close that tab because I don't want that to blow up my computer. I'm already using 91% of RAM. Okay, let's continue with activity, and we're gonna add this activity component. This is the one, and for the routing, we're going to use routing router module dot for children. We add a path to empty, and then component is going to be activity component. Okay, so in this case we pretty much fix with it. So here it says missing white space, not an error. So let's test what we have done so far. We try to add all the routing and dependencies for all of these pages. And I'm going to go to terminal and I'm going to start an application by typing IONIC serve. Once that's done, then we should be able to see the application running in a browser without any errors. And we should be able to remove this tab 1, tab 2, and tab 3 and follow this structure which we just created. Okay, so we got this dashboard works. That's good. We got the activity. We're getting an error. It says segment tab /2. Well, we forgot to change something here. So in the tabs, we need to match the routing. So that should take us to activity. And then for this, we should be able to go to, I think that's the budget. So type budget here. And for this, we're going to go to settings. Let's save the file and we should see the app is reloading automatically. I'm going to click on activity, that goes to activity works, budget, that goes to budget work, and amount, that goes to settings work. Now here we're saying account, but I think we should keep that as account, not the settings. And I'm going to show you how cool the Pycharm is in terms of refactoring. Okay, so I'm going to go and rename this bit and saying account. Refactor it, and it is account now. And I'm going to stop the server because it's been renamed. And within this, I'm going to change pretty much everything in terms of their name. So account. Let's just change this as well. Okay, it says renaming the file. Yes, I'm renaming the file, and it's asking me, hey, here's a problem. So I'm just going to do a redo refactor, and it's going to do a refactor for me, and hopefully that would not cause any problem. So I'll change this to account as well. So module has been renamed. We're going to go to accounts module, and now we have this, this is account module, and I want to make sure that the name for that is an account. So here we have account component that's been renamed. Look at this. How smart is this? That's amazing. Now we have the class name changed as well to account module, and account component has been changed to account component as well. So we didn't have to go inside the file and change it. We just changed the file name and it actually renamed everything. So I'm going to open up a terminal and type IONIC serve. And now we should be able to go to account work. To see that account work, I'm going to open up this account.html file and I'm going to change this to account. Now I could do the renaming with these tabs as well, but I prefer not to do that. I want to set up things by myself and know what we've done. So here, if I click on account, it should say account work. So at this stage, we have, set up our tabs. We also set up the routing. We created our folder structure, like the tabs will target pages, and then we have authentication, which we will do after this video or in the third video, fourth video of this whole project. So this is an open source project, guys. I want you to contribute. Go to GitHub, clone this or fork this, send me pull requests, whatever the changes you do. But in this video, we're going to target just this dashboard page and then adding in expenses. Okay, so let's get started by removing some of the tabs here. I'm just going to remove them, stop the server, and I'm going to say IONIC serve on a terminal, and I'm expecting everything to work properly. Let's save everything. Now, after that, once the project is running, we are going to set up a GitHub repository for that. So I'm just waiting for this to finish. Okay, let's refresh the page and things are working. Go to dashboard. Dashboard doesn't take you to the dashboard. There's a problem, says cannot match any route tab/tab1. So this page is something, is tab/tab1. So I'm going to globally search for that bit. Where is that in my code? It's not in my code. It's probably the, settings page that it was taking me. So I'm going to change this to tabs, open up the developer tools, go to activity, budget, and then dashboard. So basically this thing is taking me to dashboard problem. Okay, so we're gonna go to tabs page, and here we see it's taking us to tabs 1, which is wrong. So I'm gonna change this to dashboard. I forgot that previously, and now this thing should take us to dashboard work, activity work, budget work. Okay, so in this case we have fixed pretty much everything, the routing, the folder structure, everything is all good. Now we're gonna start implementing some UI for a dashboard, and then we follow along with what we're supposed to do through Trello. So in Trello we can say fixed routing for tabs. That's been developed. We move that to developed, and then we say create empty pages for all required pages. That's been developed as well. And then we should have another task, fix routing for all the tabs. Okay, that's in progress and that's done. Users should be able to navigate to the pages using tabs. That was in progress and that's done as well. Now you should be able to log in, sign up, add required configuration. We did add configuration for routing and pages. Add a routing module. So we did app routing module, pages routing module, and that's all good as well. And then we are going to create a new task, which would say create a UI for dashboard page, and then create UI for add expense page, and then we can say create UI for settings page. Okay, so at this stage we don't have much data, so sometimes you need to have some data to be able to show the UI for activity or budget. So we're gonna focus purely in this video on dashboard, which will have like a list of expenses that we can show here, and also we can store those expenses in a local storage, and also we have some filtering options here. Go to Trello, and I'm going to first of all start the task create UI for a dashboard. It's ready for development. I'm going to put that into in progress. Now we're going to go to a dashboard module and open this dashboard. So the first thing what we need to do is we're going to have some initial code that will basically have this Ion content or header, and that can come from IONIC website. So I'm going to open up a new browser. Let's move it there. And I'm going to make it screen size. And I'm going to go to IONIC framework docs. Everything I will show you on the screen what I do to figure out when I'm stuck or when I, have to do something. Documentation, I would like to look at this content and also header. So I'm going to type Command F or Control F on a Windows. I'll say Ion header. And that's a toolbar section. It's already there. So if you take a look at a toolbar, so that's what you get in a footer. Okay, so I'm going to actually use this Ion header, which is here. So that's the one. So inside the header, we can add a toolbar there. So I'm going to copy this whole bit, and I'm going to go to dashboard module and paste it here. And we should be able to see that toolbar appearing right on the top. So we got this navigation bar, which is this one. And there's another one, which is like another toolbar. So I'm just going to get rid of that. Save the file. We got this navigation bar, and start is going to be center. And we should be able to see that navigation bar. Okay, that's all good. We got Ion button, which says, here's the start center. I'm going to just get rid of this one and also get rid of this as well. And the title should be slot center. Now let's see. Nope, doesn't work with the center. So that's fine. As you can see, as a developer, you make mistakes. So I'm going to change this bit as dashboard. Now the text should be a dashboard there. Okay, so we got the header documentation, and let's see what we can do. So we can have our buttons there. We have an Ion back button, which is like a component already, done. We got this Ion content area, which is like, Ion header collapse when there's a content area. We don't want to do that, but just forget that for now. This thing is quite different than what we're trying to do. Let's go back here, and I'm going to get rid of this a bit as well. And we just have, this is the content area for dashboard. Let's save the file, and we should be able to see that inside this bit. Okay, so we got the content area done. We got that dashboard page done as well. So if we go to activity, nope, doesn't work that way. So why not we just go and add this bit to all of our HTML for budget, for activity, for an account. So let's save by typing here budget, and it says content area for budget. And we should not have this error. The error is because we have not imported this IONIC module. So we're gonna go here, and I'm going to use this IONIC module import, and the error should go away. And Pycharm is smart enough, and it's just helping me that, hey, do you want to import that? So I just hover over, it says directive missing, blah, 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 import IONIC module. I'll click on that and it will import that for me. So this one is activity. And then I'm going to change the word from dashboard to activity here as well. Let's save this. And then we got this account to finish. Let's paste it here. We're going to change this to account. And then this would be account. And there's a problem. I'm going to just look at its show content, and it says import IONIC module. That's all good. Let's verify what we've done is, so dashboard is there, activity is there, budget is there, and account is there. So we've pretty much configured all this for the Ion header with the toolbar there. So let's go to the dashboard, and inside this content area, first of all, we're gonna add a card which we have seen in our prototype. So if I go to dashboard, here is a card which shows the total amount or today's date as well. So for that, we're gonna try going to IONIC documentation, and I'm gonna find ion-card there. If I can find one, so there's a card. And it says cards are standard piece of UI that serves as an entry point to more detailed information. So here's a card. I'm going to copy, let's just say this bit. Or maybe we can copy this bit. This looks better. Nah, that's a huge card. I don't want that. So I'm just gonna use this one, and let's just paste that card here. Let's save it, and we see the changes in our dashboard, which we'll have really soon. Oh, actually, I pasted that into activities. I'm just gonna cut this bit, go to dashboard, and then paste that here. Let's save it. Let's filter. Now we should be able to see the card there. Now let's add some text as a title for today's total. So if I take you to the prototype here, we need a today's total and an amount and today's date. So for that, I'm going to get rid of this Ion item, and I'm going to just remove this bit as well. Now in terms of card, if I take you to the documentation, and the documentation will tell us that what this card can provide us. So here we have an Ion card content, header, subtitle, and a title. Okay, so we can use this Ion card header, and within this I can use this title. I can say today's total, and we can just do $500 for now. Let's save the file, and we should be able to see something like really nice title. There you go. We got today's total 500. Now I might be able to use this slot as center maybe. Let's try it. Okay, now we can't use that slot center. Okay, let's go back to the documentation. Now we got this title there, which is, it has a custom property of color. That's about it. Header, we got this ion card and header, which is nice. We got subheader. Okay, that's all good. But what I would like to do is to, just probably align this in the center, or maybe just not use the card down the road. But this is just like a basic UI that we are creating. What if I just comment this header? Let's see what we get now. Okay, now not really nice. We don't have the header, so I'm just gonna leave that there. The label for a date, so I'm just gonna type label, and what the today's date is gonna be, it's gonna show up here. Ion title, that text is not in center, so I would like to use this IONIC class, ion text center, which will make our title in the center of our card. Now that's looking good. Now instead of showing today's total, I would like to just say total for now. Okay, and also we might want to increase the size later, but for now let's just leave that there. Okay, now we got the date there. Now I would like to create ion footer here. So there's a ion footer, which basically will help us to create some buttons in the footer of this card. Now I'm going to start by adding a row, and then we're gonna have ion column, and I'm going to give a size of 3. So we know that IONIC grid is 12 column grid, so we can have like ion column 3. I'm gonna copy of these 4 times, save the file, and we should be able to see these columns here, but we won't have anything yet. So inside this, I would like to create ion button, and I'll say testing. Oh, let's just do a test. Okay, and let's just get rid of this bit, and then just 1, 2, 3. I'll format it, and now we got 3 buttons. And now it's a matter of aligning them center. So to align them center, first of all, I would like to add an expand property, and I will say full for these buttons. So I'm just gonna copy this bit and paste it here. Also, I'm gonna paste that for this button. Now we got the buttons with full expansion, and you can see here, and now they're automatically aligned. So if I just inspect this element, and you can see they're automatically aligned properly. Another property that I would like to give to these button would be a fill property, and I would like to give it a clear. So let's see how it looks like. So here's a clear button. I can click on it and we'll tap like this, or I can have this solid, and that will look like this. Okay, or we can have something like outline. This is much nicer. Yep, it'll look like this. Okay, and also the grid has changed to footer, so I'm supposed to have a footer here. Okay, and then let's just do this outline for every button. Okay, so it looks like a really weird kind of button, but let's just leave them here for now. Now here we're gonna do some functionality. So this app will have something like a date picker, which you can just give them a filter. So I'll just do a date, and this one will be today, and then it can have select or maybe category, and then we have amount. Okay, let's have a look at those buttons now. So we got amount, category, today, and a date. So I would like to make this a date, and let's just have this as today. Okay, so now we got our app looking okay, but still I'm just not sure if I really want to have that outline, because that didn't look really like a button. So I'll just do clear, just quickly change them to okay. All right, we got the buttons now. Add some color for this total 500. So here we got a title, this is a header. So I would like to give it a color property. If this has a color property, so I'll do primary color for this header. Let's see if this gets applied. Yep, it gets applied, but this is not what I want to do. So I will just cut this and paste it to the header. And we should see a primary color. Yep, that looking nice. Now also I would like to move that date text into this subheader, and I don't want to see a date. Actually, not this one. I don't want to have a label at all. I'm going to save the file, and then we should be able to see the date in like this. Okay, so we got a date, we got a total, we got these buttons there. Now we can apply the colors for this top and then the tabs as well. So for that, I'm gonna go to variable.css, and here we got the colors. Let's go to the documentation, and I'm gonna take you to this guide page, and here we should see colors. So we're gonna go to theming, and here we got colors. So here we can see how many colors are provided here. So I can use this secondary color for actually the primary color for top this, and then the bottom, and then the secondary color for whatever it's a secondary thing. Okay, so for now we're gonna go to tabs page, and here for the tabs I can give a color property. Actually, it's not gonna take, I guess this tab bar will take a color property, and I can do a secondary on this one. And you'll see that color and background will change. Now it's okay, but we can also override these colors later on. So we got these, and then we're gonna go to top header. So we go to dashboard component, and here's a header for that, and I'm gonna do a color property secondary for the toolbar, and we got that toolbar in the secondary as well. I'm not sure if we really want to do a secondary color for these, but that's fine, because I'll not be using this color in different places. So we got this total, we got a date here, we got these buttons there. Now let's work on the card that will basically show the expense. Start by creating another card. So I would like to add ion card, and within this ion card we are going to add a grid. So let me just start by adding ion card content, and then inside this we can use ion grid, and I'm going to copy this row, and then let's just paste it here. I'm going to save the project, and let's see what we get. So there's some sort of issue here. So ion content should not be, so that should be ion card content, not ion content. Let's save it, and then we can see we got a card down here. Okay, so now we need to show an amount. So first of all, let's start by getting rid of all of these buttons. Okay, I'm going to save the file, and let's see what we have. So we got a grid and a card. Basically it's empty right now. I'm going to add a text here. So first of all, that would take an amount. Second one would be a type of expense, and then we will have a button for info. So I'm going to use icon. So for that we have okay, and I'm going to use a name. First of all, let's just create a new browser, and I'm just gonna move that to the next page. Okay, and let's just open up IONIC framework and then IONIC cons. Let me zoom in a bit. Now here we are going to choose some sort of like info here. So that looks okay to me. I'm going to basically just copy this bit, and then I'm going to paste that here. Okay, let's save the file, and we should be able to see that icon. All right, we got an icon there. I'm gonna change the size to large. Okay, we got that. And then in the next column, we're gonna have another icon, which would be edit. Okay, that's the one. I'm gonna copy this and then paste it here. And we should have that edit there as well. Just save the file and let's see why it's not reloading. Okay, maybe the server has stopped. Nope, server hasn't stopped. Then what's the issue? So icon, that's a create outline. And if I just type some gibberish here, does it appear? Let me have a look. Okay, it doesn't appear anything here. So there's a problem with the server. So what I'm gonna do is, let's just add a size as large, save the file, and also I'm just going to stop the server, and I'm going to say IONIC serve. Okay, now usually you won't have to deal with this kind of issues, but sometimes things don't, show up. So for that, we need to sometime restart the server. So this is basically an uncut video, so I'm gonna show you everything that you have to go through. Now we're seeing that there is a problem. Says failed to load, server response set as a 404 found. So this SVG is not, basically it's failed to load. So we're gonna go there, and then I'm just going to use some sort of like a pen maybe. Let's see if that works out for us. Save the file, and we should see that pen now. So no pen, there is an error loading SVG. So I'm going to show you another way to actually use this particular icon. What I'm going to do is clicking on this SVG button. It's going to actually download this particular file in SVG. And then I'm going to open up this file in a Finder. And I'm just going to copy this bit, go back to IDE. In assets, in icons, I'm going to right click and paste the file here. Okay, once we got that file, I'm going to use, instead of this name, I'm going to use source, and then we are going to define a source of this. So I'm going to copy path, and then we got this absolute path, or we got this path from a content, or path from the repository. So I'm going to try this content one, and then I'm going to paste that here. Okay, let's save the file and let's see if we are able to see that pen. Nope, pen's not there, so I'm just going to get rid of this, and let's just directly target assets, and there you go, we got the pen there. I'm going to use the size as large, and we should see the pen in large size. There we go. Okay, now what I'm going to do is give this one column and then one column. And then for these, we're going to use 5 columns and 5 columns there. And we should see those pens all right in the corner. Maybe I can give this 2. And then here we're gonna have to change to 4x4. Remember, this is a 12 column grid in IONIC. And now we should see that. Okay, they're looking okay now. And then we write another CSS later on. Let me try commenting this grid because it adds its own padding. I don't want to see those padding, and now similar, not much changed, so that's fine. I will leave that here, and I'm going to remove this iron card content, and let's see if we are able to, you know, get rid of that space. Now it's looking much better now, so I'm going to just inspect this element, and then here we can define some custom CSS there as well. For example, here is the, you know, flex. So for that, I'm going to, you know, do class text. I'm gonna use a center, or we can do justify. Let's save the file, and we should see that in the middle. Okay, now I'll worry about this later, so let's just get rid of this. Now we have done our basic UI for the cards, which will be listed out here. Let me get rid of this. Okay, save it. Okay, so now looking good. I'm going to actually create a repository for this project, and I want to show you how you create it. Now at this stage, we are going to finish our part 1 for this project, and then the part 2, we're going to start writing some logic for this application. So before we end this video, I would like to set up the repository. So I'm gonna go to my GitHub account, and here, if you have not followed me on GitHub, I'll drop a link of my GitHub account. Please make sure that you follow me on the GitHub. And now I'm going to create a new repository, and I'm going to say expense logger. Okay. And it says repositories already exist, so I'm just going to use logger. Let's see. Nope, it's not gonna let me do that, so I'm gonna just say expense tracker. Okay, let's just use this one, and then I'm saying this is the project for YouTube, and we'll leave that as public. And then I'm going to create this repository. Once my repository is done, it will tell me these commands that I can, you know, use. So I'm going to use this command first, and that would actually write some stuff to my readme.file. So let's just paste this. So it's gonna, you know, write down some stuff like expense tracker into readme.md file. So here we go. So we got the readme.md, and we got this expense tracker there. So that's good. And after this, I'm going to use some other commands. For example, this is going to be git commit, my first commit, and then I'm going to have to add the origin. So this is the origin that I will have to add. Let's copy this. And first of all, let me show you. If you type git remote-v, you will see what is your server side. I won't call it server side, but repository URL. I'm going to use this command, and it's going to add that origin. So now if I type remote-v, and I've got this origin. Okay, now I could use this git push command as well. So first of all, I'm going to use git add dot, and then I will check the git status, and everything is added into our project. And we'll use git commit -m. I'll say initial, I'll say chapter, or actually video 1 completed here. Okay, and I will just enter, and now I've got this, you know, commit done. I'm going to use git push. Now the first time, because I don't have that master branch in our origin, and we're going to use this command for that. So I'll type git push -- set upstream origin, which is the name of that, and then a master. and now it's going to push the data to the repository. And if I refresh this page now, I should be seeing this code. So there you go. If you want to contribute, it's open source project, and I'm gonna write some MD how you can contribute to this project. Okay, that's about it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and we're gonna start writing some Angular logic to make this work properly, or actually add some stuff to it. So, okay, so this is the repository. I will drop a link for this in the description of this video. Please check it out and send me a pull request, and then I will actually allow you to take a pull request from this or fork this. And if you want to jump on and contribute to this project, you're more than welcome to do that. Okay, before I finish this video, please subscribe to the channel, and also check out my Udemy courses. I've got really cool Udemy courses. I'm going to show you my public profile, and here are some of the courses I've taught. I've taught full-fledged Angular, mean stack, full JavaScript, and some TypeScript and RESTful course as well. So I've got a good rating as well. So there's an IONIC 4 app development course as well. Don't worry about this one, because this is what I'm teaching you in this video. Okay, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And last thing I forgot, please have a look at my brother's Umer courses. I'm going to type Umer Jamil here, and then I should be able to see his courses. So that's Angular and Loopback from scratch. So this is one of the best courses that you can find with Angular and Loopback, and build a complete website from scratch. So this is really good. My brother is like really experienced in Angular and JavaScript overall. So that's his profile. I would highly recommend check him out. Okay, and I'll see you guys in the next part of this project.